section on the form. Thank you. Same comment with the data. If you don't have a check mark there, please attend the data session and then come see me after and we'll continue and complete that section of the form. Okay? I'm very happy to know that you understand the audience you plan to serve with your solutions. Everyone gets it, and I think part of that, I'll just editorialize here for a minute, I think that's because so many of you come from the mining communities and the mining background. You really understand the challenges and the people you need to reach and serve with this work. So thank you very much for listening to the speakers yesterday and translating that into projects that serve the target community. Well done. Well done. It falls off a little bit on the right here. Last column. Okay, so there are two more columns I'm adding now because as I look at the judges' criteria, how they will evaluate you, how they will score you, there are two categories that I want you to make sure you pay attention to. They're not on the form. We haven't talked much about this, but it's important for you to think about it and be ready in your presentation to describe this, discuss this, and then answer the judges' questions well. Let me explain. We'll only take 5 minutes, then I'll let you all go. Number one is revenue. They will call it sustainability. You've heard the word a lot, hello? You've heard the word a lot yesterday, sustainability. It's your business model. Are you going to go back to the donors every year for more money so that you can stay in business? Do you plan to make money from this project or not? Actually, yes or no, they're both good answers. I'm not telling you you need a business model that's a profit model. But I am asking you to think about how the program, project, tool, service, information, product that you're building or proposing, how it will continue to live and serve the target audience. Okay? We need a kind of, if your background is in as an economist, you might think about it as a 5-year business plan. How are we going to sustain this program? You need to think about that, even though we don't really have okay. Does anybody have any questions? It's very important you understand that. Does anybody in the other room have questions about that? I want to make sure you understand that we understand the business model, whether it's profit, non-profit, donor-based. I'm not sure how you will. Okay? No questions? Great. So number 2, partners. There's no way, I read through all of these ideas, and there's no way a team of 5, even 6, will be able to build the product, launch it into the community, support it, get it adopted. You're going to need partners. Even some of the ideas that rely on networking or creating links between, let's say, the mining companies and the community, or NMA, NRA, and the community. There are several ideas that have this kind of model. You know who you are. I want to see evidence. I want you to help me understand the partnerships that you must create or leverage in order for your program, product, or service to be a success? Does everyone understand what I'm asking? This can be NGOs, it can be branches of the government, it can be corporations, mining companies or other kinds, it can be community groups, it can even be religious organizations, whoever you need to pull together to support the product or program, whether it's with finance or communication or collaboration. I need that information, okay? All right. So now, at the end of today, these forms that we've been reviewing here that you gave me will be finished. All this missing information will be added. And we'll use the back to make a list to describe the business model and the partnerships, okay? Now, if you want your form back now, I have them right here. Otherwise, I will hold on to them. One last comment. So, any questions on anything I've said? Please, ask me now.
Yes. It's has to do with the people who are programmers, who are app developers, because like for our group, like some of us in our own group, we only have people who are like critical thinkers, but we don't have people who are app developers. And yeah, so it has been a challenge for us to also navigate around that.
Okay, so thank you for the question. Several groups have the same challenge. That is that they don't have someone who can actually build an app or a website or a kind of a digital information tool. Okay, several teams have this same challenge. First, I will tell you one, make sure you go to that tool's learning session this morning. You will get a lot of information there as a way to get started. Second, make sure you know what you want it to do, how you want it to look. Even if you've never built an app or a website, you've certainly used apps and websites. Put yourself in the shoes of your user, your target user, and ask yourself, when I open that app, or when I land on that website, what do I want to see? And from there, what can I do? What do I click on? Or what happens next? You can tell the story of the user's experience even if you've never built an app or a website. And if you do that, before even going to the tool's learning session, by the time you finish that learning session, you will know what you want to build, you will know what tools you need, and then you can work with our coaches and mentors to learn how. Okay? I don't want you to try to boil the ocean. Don't build the whole app and don't design the whole website. Just give us something so we can see what's your vision. Let's keep it simple. And also, I will tell you, I've told several teams this before, but everyone should hear this. If after 3 days in this hackathon, the only thing you learn is how to build an app or a website, that is a huge value to you.
Ross, sorry, I didn't also just, I think,
Please.
So I think Ross has done very loud. It grows.
Okay.
Yeah, my voice is already small, so it's okay. So I think Russ has done an excellent idea, just emphasizing that if you are not a tech person and you don't know how to build an app, that's okay. So I just want to also emphasize that number one, the idea or the solution is more important than the app, right? So it's more important for you to know what that app is going to do rather than building the app. So that's the first thing. First of all, if you're not a tech person, if you don't know how to build an app, the first thing is, what is that app going to do? So exactly what Russ was saying, at least you should be able to draw a picture, right? So draw some picture, put a button here and say, okay, so when the person opens this app, they're going to click this button, it's going to do ABCD, and when you click this button, it's going to do XYZ. So that I think you can do. So that idea is very important. If you have an excellent, strong idea, you can hire an app developer to do it for you, right? So the idea is very, very important. So
thank you, Dunstan. Any questions about that? Good question, thank you very much. I know a lot of people in the room have had the same question. Last thing, you'll see there are two pairs of teams here highlighted in the colors. One pair in orange, one pair in yellow. I want to see those two teams in orange come to me together, the two. I want to see the two teams in yellow come to me together, the two at the same time. We'll meet in in the back room. Now, and that's it.
Just a question. It's in yellow. The second one. The name is not normal name, but the name and so they have to do clarification.
Please, if any of the team names are incorrect, help me fix them, okay? I want to thank you. I want to get that right. When we meet, I will get the correct name there. Okay? All right, today is all about building. Build your idea, build your business model, build your presentation, think about the user experience. Now let's have some fun. You want to go back? The two teams in orange, are you all here? Are all the members here?
Can you please stay seated? Guys, come back, stay seated, Hello. Stay seated, guys. Guys, please have a seat. It's a very short presentation, but you guys need to stay careful. Guys, things to see. Just after this presentation, please, you can make your way to the room. The orange team, then the yellow team next, so he can see you guys for about 5 minutes, okay? But we need to get through this presentation first, okay?
So I just wanted to show you guys some of the data that we have. So I think once you start, once you go back in your teams, I'll start talking to the data person in the team and get into details on how to use some of this data. But this is just a broad overview of the data that is available and how you can use it. So just like from a quick raise of hand, how many people went through the resources that I shared on WhatsApp? Just one? So on WhatsApp I shared a Google document with a list of Python tools that you can use to analyze data and some resources of how other people have used data. So I was just trying to check how many people tried to do that. So anyway, the idea is, let me see if I can find that that document. Okay, so I was just talking about this this document that I shared with you some time back. I wanted to see how people try to use it. I was talking about this Google document that I shared some time back. I wanted to see how many people try to use it. So there was just one hand. But the idea is for you to learn how to, for example, use Python to be able to handle the data. Also to see some example data sets. But going back to the presentation, So in terms of how others have used data, hopefully if you go to that document, you can see how other people use data in terms of examples. So I'm not going to go through that again. But in terms of what data we have, you should have seen, so all the data is sitting on a Google Drive. So we have this Google Drive. During the developers tools session, I think Ras is going, have you shown them the Google Drive yet, or? No. Okay, so we have a Google Drive which has the data. So the Google Drive is data and resources. If you go in there, we have different things. Some of the folders are empty, but for example, we have in the population folder, we have data on population. If you go in the mining company data, we have data on mining. I'm going to show you where to get some of this data, but this is the main folder where you are going to access some of the data we have. So I think you have a data set list, right, like a spreadsheet which was given to you.
Did you show them the link?
Yeah. So I'm going to share the link, even the link to the repository or the.
I thought it was on the slide.
I have it somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to share the link. This is the link.
On the next slide. Down one more.
No, this.
There you go.
This one is the link.
We got one more on the next slide.
No. So I think we are talking about this one, right? Okay, can I just send me this?
That's okay. There you go. So make sure.
The people. Yeah, this is the one I'm trying to show them. I think this is I copied it and pasted it here. Yeah. So in terms of the data we have, so these are some of the data sets we have, and the data is sitting here. So the link that you have to know is this one. So everyone is going to have access to this shared folder, right? So I'm just going to go back to it. It's data and resources. So you have access to this folder called data and resources. And within this data and resources folder, if you go in there, we have the subfolders with different data sets. Unfortunately, some of the folders are empty. For example, under employment, we are still looking for the data. But in some of the folders, like on revenue, so there's data on revenue here. We should be able to open some of the data and visualize. So when you go into details in the breakout session, I can show you how to, if you want to analyze this data, then you can go into details on how to analyze that data. So at this point, do you have any questions in terms of where to find the data? That's very important for you to know where to find the data. Do you understand where the data is? No? Okay. So I'll just share the link. Not share. Okay, so the short link, I mean, they still need the slides. Okay, so how many people have any experience with analyzing data? I saw yesterday that we have some data analysts and, okay, any other person like with experience in analyzing data? Okay, so what tools do you use to analyze data?
Excel, what is it?
Excel? Okay. What about the lady? Do you use SPSS? Anyone who has used Python? Python? Okay. How many people know Python as a programming language? Only one? Okay. What about GIS data? Anyone with experience with GIS data? The number is 3C. I think I also share it on the side. Russell just copying the link to the data, but I'm going to share it on WhatsApp as well. I think it's easier that way. But this is the link to the Google Drive, to the Google shared folder where we have the data. Is that clear for everyone? Where we have the data? Yeah. Okay. So in terms of how we analyze the data, I don't have the time right now to show you how to use Python, but I'll give an example of like some of the geographic data that we have on population. So for example, if you go to the population data, you see section. Do we understand section? Anyone who knows section? So in Sierra Leone, you have like district, chiefdom, and then you have sections, right? So we have this data at section level. So, for example, if you open this, it's a CSV file, just showing like the section name, and then the total population, and the population of males and females, and so on. Okay. But this data can also be viewed in a map. So it's also possible to view this data in a map if you want to visualize in a map. I'm going to show you in the breakout sessions like how to use QGIS to visualize data. So for example, this is just an example of the active mining licenses which are currently in Sierra Leone. So each one here on this map are just the mining licenses. So if you open the table, you see that this is the name of the, I think the company. So it's just an ID. But those are the mining locations, whether it's at Zeno Mining, and here you have the type of mineral that they're mining. So I'm also going to share to show you where to get this data. But if you want to visualize your data on a map, I'm going to show you in the more detailed session on how to do that if that's what you want. Some of this data is possible to show it on the map.
So that goes inside and also see the presentation.
So, so again, this was extremely brief. I know you didn't get much, but if you have, I'm going to talk to the data people in your teams in a more detail. If you have any questions on the data, so for your idea, if you're looking for some data, you can ask like where do I. If you have any problems with loading your data, if you're trying to analyze or visualize the data, then you can also ask questions on how to do that. If you're not understanding any data set, you can also ask. If you are using a data set and you feel like you're not sure whether it's a correct data set, you can also ask those questions. Feel free to ask. In terms of who to ask, so we have like a team of data people here. So I'm just going to. So largely, when you have these guys are also developers, but they are staff from DSTI. I will let them introduce themselves.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Glenda Macaulay. I work for the Directorate of Science, Technology, and Innovation. I'm the lead data scientist. We are here to help you, to supervise your work, to mentor you, to guide you on how to use some of the data that you will be using to develop your ideas and your solution. On my right, I have Abdurrahman Jallo. He is a junior data scientist. He's one of my team members. On my left, we have one of our junior software developer. So also he will be bringing to you his genius, smartness in guiding you what technologies to use, what programming language will work for your solution. So don't feel, don't hesitate to reach out to us, to call on us to help you. Thank you.
Okay. And we also have Dr. Umaru. He's also a database and you can equally. You're here all day, right?
Yes, I've been helping you guys and helping, mentoring, anything.
Maybe you're not sure if you have the data, you are trying to think, how should I analyze the data? How should I visualize the data? What's going on with this data? I just want to open the data. All those questions, if you have, you can come to me, Umaru, and the DSTI team. Is that clear? Yes. Okay. Any questions? And please come again. On what exactly? What's okay? So just. Okay, so the main message is, number one, you should know where the data is sitting, right? That's one. So I think I've shown the link, and I'm also going to share it on WhatsApp. So we have a shared Google Drive where the data is sitting. That's important. So I'll share the link for that. Number two, I think you should be able to use the resources we have in terms of myself. If you have any questions on data, you can ask me, you can ask Umaru, you can ask the three DSTI staff. They are all data scientists. So we have like 4 or 5 data scientists. So these are more than enough to help you with any data related questions.
Okay. Then my question here is, we are going to have access to this data, but how can we use this data? Okay, now nobody help me answer this.
I think that's part of the challenge, right? So the reason why they're providing this data is a tool, it's part of your tools that are going to use to challenge. So in a way, us answering that question defeats the purpose of the challenge, okay? Beyond that, on a larger frame, we're here, the data scientists, including Super Cool himself from World Bank in Washington, D.C., don't stand, okay? And the team from DSTI. I'm not a data scientist. I'm more on the side of appropriate data sets that you need, which are all these links that they provided, okay? And their applicability and relevance. Most importantly, which was where they started with and landed on, is that if you have any questions as you're going along, do not hesitate to ask, okay? The only question that is stupid is the question that you are too embarrassed or afraid to ask, okay? Ask. If we think that we would be infringing upon your innovation and creativity, we would say no, that's part of the challenge, okay?
Yeah, so, but that's an excellent question in terms of how to use the data, right? So, first of all, of course, the number one thing is the idea, right? So, just still emphasizing on the idea. So, you have your idea. I think on that sheet of the idea, as Russ mentioned, you have indicated what data you think you need for that idea. We really want the solutions to be kind of data-driven. Maybe some of them will not be 100% data-driven, but we are trying to encourage that the solutions are data-driven. So when you have the idea, it's just a question of, okay, we want to help people. We want to help, for example, like women in the mining community. So you should know how many women are there. You should know, like, in this section, how many women are here, how many, so that's the data that you need in that case for your solution. So first of all, once you are coming up with the idea, the data will easily come in place, but if you're not sure how to use the data, yeah, just come to us, then that's why we're here. Any other question? But yeah, that's like a beautiful visualization, just an example of how people use data. And I also shared like some links on how people are using information data in Sierra Leone, but it seems most of you did not read that. But I'm going to share those links again just for you to see like how other people use it. I think I'm done here.
Good. Okay, that was good. All right. I think that's about it. Where's Ross? Yeah, Ross. Okay. Is it busy? Okay. That's fine. I think we can break up now. Okay, so, okay guys, so we're gonna break off now into your groups, yeah? And hopefully you've got some more, all those who was asking questions about data yesterday, there was a lot of questions about data, and hope you have some clarity.
They are not asking the questions.
No, they were saying what they were trying to fill in the form and they were asking about.
Yeah, I'll drop the link in that.
Because there was a few groups that was asking what data do we need, what do you mean by, there were some questions about that.
Yeah, ask those questions.
Yeah, so you need to ask those questions more. We provide you with links to them. So you can we're gonna break off into your groups now. At some point we'll call you guys a bit later to do one more presentation. But for now, until tea break, we're gonna let you guys get into your group and continue working on your solution. Hopefully now you have some guidance and some information, right? Am I right?
Yeah. Do you still have any questions?
Do you have any questions?
Any general questions on data you can ask?
Okay.
Ask now. It's okay.
No, if you ask now, you can help others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just for yourself. It's like you might be having questions that other people need help. Yeah.
If you have any general questions, yes, ask.
Now, let me say, I just want to say, some of us, we are working on loud empowerment. Some of us, we are working on youth empowerment. Then we look at the data you guys have, we are not seeing any data for youth empowerment. How can we have this data?
Good question.
So, youth empowerment. Okay, so we're gonna have to get into more specific with you in your team, but as a starting point, the first data you need is on the youth, right? So I'm gonna show you like population data. So because the first thing you want to know is how many youth are where, right? So in this shift and shift, how many youth in this section, how many youth? So just that data on number of people, like population, how many youth we have is important, right? So that's number one. But you can have even other data on how many youth are employed in terms of employment, that's also important. But the exact data that you need will depend on the exact solution. Because just youth empowerment is not enough for me to tell you what data you need, right? But as a starting point, you need data on just youth. So that's population data. Any other question? That was an excellent question, so have I answered it? You think I've answered it? Yeah. Okay. But I can show you quickly, let me see. So, okay, while I'm doing this, any other question? So we have access to data on the youth. So like that data just shows like in this section how many people of age, for example 0 to 1, how many people of age like 5 to 12, how many people of age and so on. So that's why I'm saying that data is important.
Yes, let's start. Yeah, the population says so. The population. I want to know, is it the 2015 census or the 2000 census?
Unfortunately, the population at section level, it's still the 2015. It's not the new one. Yeah, the new one, they're still waiting on it. But I mean, that's why when you are making your solutions, it should be made in such a way that it's easy to update, right? So once that new data comes in, you just like put a link to the new data, or copy in that new link to the new data, and then it updates.
Yeah, because that's additional answers.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying the link you shared on the WhatsApp is not like for sale content, because I find that there is some other areas around Africa. Are not sort of related to that. So, but if you can share this, I think it's very common. terms of the decision making.
All right, great. Yes, I shared some links which are more generic use of data, but I also shared some links specifically on Sierra Leone. So I did both, I think. Especially on population. I shared something on population very specifically on Sierra Leone. On WhatsApp. I'll get back to this. Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So, this is just a suggestion. Like what you are saying is a bit technical. And whatever might be here, most of the team members maybe have not even upgrade with data. So, like I know the team is trying to help us in such a manner. So, I think the best way we can, each and every team have a data person that will meet you or that will meet any of the team members for further questions. So, for instance, now you asked just about who have some knowledge in this, who have some knowledge in this. And I still believe the event want to know how people can actually use data, maybe the existing data, visualize data. So people, the thing now, if you understand, it seems like most of the room is quiet because a lot of people do not have that kind of, in-depth knowledge. So let this be kind of, let's just sit back, relax, and understand that they just want to know how the team can be able to cope with some of this data. And these data are available so we can access them and just try to play around with it. Then this is my understanding about what is going on. Because currently it seems like we are all, the team is scared and people don't want to,
I think that's well put, well said. Let's please, all the data that we're providing here, they are tools. They're not solutions. We provided the challenge to you guys, okay? And we're asking you to provide solutions to those challenges in creative and entrepreneurial ways and innovative ways, using to the extent possible these data, okay? Don't let them, like you're advising, okay, frighten you. And also, don't let them kind of like crimp your innovation. For those of you that have the opportunity to briefly engage with, focus first on what is this question, meaning what is this challenge? Do we really understand it? And how precise then is the solution that we want to provide? All the other things would fall in place. And before we have you guys break out, I want to say this again for the benefit of those for whom maybe I didn't have the opportunity to interact with. Remember, the reason why you're working as a team, each and every single member of that team brings something to the table. So it is important for you not to think, oh, we don't have a data scientist, we need a data scientist, or we need a programmer, oh my God. No, otherwise it would be only an entire team of just programmers, okay? The focus again is on the challenge and the solution, okay? And you are mind melding, you're bringing different experiences, viewpoints to the table. It is important that you do that, okay? For the rest, mentors are here, that's why you're here. Let's have fun, y'all, okay? Don't say you want to say anything?
Any question? So yeah, we have many mentors, so we have like it's 4 of us, you understand?
At least 4.
So we're able to help, but again, just as Umar mentioned, the idea is very important. Also,
I think essentially you've covered most of what the questions they were asking. But we're here to provide support, especially for teams that have data intensive, spending more time with them than teams that do not have data intensive solutions. So I think that way we will provide better support, and we'll be there to guide you on how to start maybe processing the data, accessing accessing it. If you're building an application, how you can take that data from a CSV, Excel to a database, that will provide as a support. So yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it pretty much, yeah. So the important thing again is the solution. Make sure you are very clear, like, what is solution, what problem we are solving. You are very, very clear on that, and then with the rest of the technology, the data stuff, I think will help you.
Yeah, I want to repeat, I'm telling you as a teacher that I've done this thing a million times, okay? 90% of providing the right solution is understanding the question, the challenge. Don't go fixate on providing a solution for solution first. Focus on the challenge, which is another simple word of question here. Focus on it and try to break it down into several bits and understand and provide something that is fresh and unique. Then the answers to the tools that you would need and the knowledge and experiences that you need to bring to answer that, provide the solution would naturally fall into place, okay? All right.
So I just shared the link to the data in the folder that we mentioned. Oh yeah, I just shared the link on WhatsApp. The link to the Google Drive where all the data is. Yeah, so now you can just go back in your groups and start working on your solution.
And again, those
the ones in the orange and yellow that are rushed, you can see them for like 5 minutes.
And the rest of the others, we are having a big choice. We call it new Please accept internet connectivity with we're part of the club. Each one gives an answer because you have an assignment or
no, what I'm asking is, they go to the
You know so well. Well, you can go print some to put and use this way.
You don't get coming out. This thing that the team been long. To the just the chairman. They can't
Will you say that, Lonnie?
I also do